Welcome, friends. It's Podcast Unlocked, the world's #1 Xbox show, episode 373. That would be a palindrome. Lots to talk about this week. Busy week. The Game Awards coming up may have already happened, depending on when you see or listen to this. So we'll make some quick Game Awards predictions, and then you can all laugh about how wrong we are. Plus, Rocksteady. We've been wondering what the heck they've been up to for quite literally years now. We have a little bit of an update on that. Plus, BioWare teasing Dragon Age 4. We may see that very, very soon in some small capacity. We'll talk about that. Also, the Gears of War movie has got itself a new writer, which led us to want to cast the thing ourselves. Let's put us in charge. So, lots to cover, all that and more. I'm Ryan McCaffrey, joined by Brennan Tyrell.
Howdy.
Miranda Sanchez, who's wearing, just from looking at it, what appears to be the single most comfortable sweater in the history of time.
Super fluffy. It's my favorite sweater. It's just like wearing a blanket all day and being in bed. So that's why
like a Snuggie.
Nice.
Yeah, but more fashionable.
And joining us, not from the IGN Sydney, Australia office, but from here.
Yes.
From the San Francisco office, Lucy O'Brien joining us
Hello.
full time. I love that you're here.
I love that I'm here too.
Welcome.
It's amazing. Thank you so much. It's great to be here. Living here now.
You're
Yeah.
here. It's done. You're part of the San Francisco team now. We've
know.
stolen you away.
Yeah. I still feel like I'm just visiting. Like it hasn't sunk in properly yet that I'm actually like based here. I'm like, oh, next week I'll be going home.
Yeah, that'll be it. And we'll have to say goodbye again.
Yeah.
But no, not this time. We're
Not this
keeping
way
you.
around.
So thrilled to have you and appreciate you jumping in on the show this week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Destin decided he needed to do some Destiny thing.
Right.
So,
It sounds like Destin.
Yeah, it sounds
Brandon,
like Destin.
would you like to
Typical
do the
Destin.
honors in his stead?
Bam! Destin Legary.
You can let us know if that lives up to the Destin standard.
I
But
can give you a couple, or we can just.
oh, you want
think,
a couple takes?
We'll give you a pensive one, bam, and then just a real like bam. I think that last one was more Destin.
You got
I
that?
think,
Yeah.
you had to build up to it.
You
right?
captured. Yeah, you had to warm up. To it.
I'll let Destin figure it out, and then he'll let me know.
All right. A reminder that if you're watching this before Thursday evening, you can watch the Game Awards live here on IGN beginning at 5:30 p.m. Pacific. Thursday, December 6th is the date on that. So let's real quick make a couple predictions.
Yeah.
If you're watching this after the Game Awards have happened, just laugh right along. That'll be the
I hope
trick.
we're right. I hope we got some things right because I have passion for this.
You
Oh,
better
you've got
kick it
something
off
first?
now.
You've got genuine hope. Okay.
Please,
All right.
below.
Please
Please.
below.
Let it be below.
What if it's not?
It's December of 2018. They said this year. There are only so many days
You're
left.
true. You're so correct. You're so correct on
I'm
this.
so worried, guys. I really am. I've wanted this game for so long. I know a lot of people have too, and I keep asking friends. I'm like, so you still excited for Below? They're like, well, it was a few years ago. I'm just like, don't
beg your
say
pardon?
that.
Yeah.
It's coming. Like, I played
Yeah.
it this year. They said this year. This is the time.
A game that we have been watching for literally 5 years.
Yes.
It was 2013. It was at the same E3 that the Xbox One was unveiled
Oh my
at.
god.
Oh my
it
god.
was.
Yeah.
It's been so long.
It's been a ride for Below.
Ever since then, sometimes I'll just be like, huh, I wonder how Below's doing. You're doing
So
well,
if
Kathy.
it's not Below, please send flowers and condolences to Miranda Sanchez,
I will
mayor of
be-
IGN.
a little heartbroken if it's not there. Just
Well, I'll go next. I'm shooting for the moon on this one, which no is not a Portal 3 reference, but not far off.
Nice.
Right?
Nice.
You like that?
I do.
Left 4 Dead
Great.
3. Why not? Okay, there have been references to it. And
Why not just go halfway?
Why not? Before you can answer, let me answer.
But, hey, Valve said they want to get back to making games. There have been references to it over the years in the source code, the source code. And if they were ever going to bring back, I feel like it's the highest probability of coming back among their 3 major single-player franchises.
Right.
Well, single-player slash, I guess not card game franchises. Sorry, Miranda.
that's a new game.
Artifact is a
not
new
a whole-
game.
it's
They
a-
did get
Yeah.
back to making games.
Yeah.
New IP.
But so
But it's not the same, you know?
No, that's
Right?
the thing. It's
Yeah.
a diversion from everything they made before, so it can't fall into those categories.
so it's never
Fantastic game though.
it's never gonna happen. But I'm just saying it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Left 4 Dead 3 will shock the world.
Okay.
And it totally won't, but I'm saying it will anyway because if it on the 1.1% chance it happens, I'll look like Nostradamus.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
You will.
The prophet. Yeah.
Of the
great.
few games I could bring back for a 3. That's a good prediction.
Lucy?
My this is just very like pie in the sky. It won't happen. It's not as ridiculous as your prediction.
Oh, okay. I'll be the judge of that.
Nintendogs too.
Yeah, I've been waiting for that one. No, for me, like I know Bethesda will probably show some Rage 2 stuff. That's what
Yeah.
they're all about. They've had a really big year, so I doubt we'll see much from Bethesda at the Game Awards. But just in case, I'd really like to see a little Evil Within 3 tease.
Oh.
Ooh.
Just because, like, I mean, obviously, next year will all be about like the showcase will all be about Starlink and that sort of thing. And I believe
Doom
that'll be
Eternal next year.
Yeah. That'll be the big
Right.
focus. And, maybe just to add a little bit of spice to what would otherwise just be a fairly like nothing. Here's a release date for a Rage 2. Just a little Evil Within 3 tease. We don't know what Tango's up to.
Which fall? How was it? 1 year ago or 2 years ago?
I don't measure in falls.
Sorry, spring. Right? It's the opposite season.
It is. It's the opposite season.
Yeah.
How many Octobers ago?
I think
There you go.
I don't
I
measure in
think
falls.
it was. God, that's a good question.
I gotta look it up while you're
was
talking now. I got it. Hold on.
There comes a time when
I just
you work
lose.
in this industry and everything just meshes together.
It does.
It was 2. I had a
got it.
really interesting experience reviewing.
Oh, it was it was 1 year ago.
Oh, it was 1 year ago.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm still gunning for it.
Yeah.
I had a very interesting, just as an aside, I had a really interesting experience reviewing Evil Within 2 that has never happened to me before. And hopefully will never happen to me again, but it probably will. When you're reviewing games, and sometimes you've got a really tight turnaround, and this was during the time when Bethesda was very strict on its embargoes and that sort of
Yes.
thing. It was like you basically had like 24 hours.
Yeah, we're not sending out advanced copies.
That's right. So I was reviewing the Evil Within 2 and I got stuck. And I believe in my heart of hearts that it was a glitch and that I discovered a glitch in the game and that was it. And I was just going to have to stop. And I honestly, it was like this one boss and all you had to do was just shoot him in the head repeatedly. That was the method.
It can't be this simple.
But I was like, no, it can't be this simple. Just running around trying to find like ammo. It must be something more complicated. It wasn't. I just had to keep shooting him in the head and finding more ammo. But I spent 24 hours on that dude.
Was it the photograph boss that climbed on the walls with the camera on its head?
No, it was like it was just like this dude who walked around really slowly.
Oh.
And he had like a flamethrower.
Ah, flamethrower dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times in my career that's happened to me.
I felt like such an idiot.
It's happening
though.
because not only the being on an island because the game's not out and there's no like IGN wiki to help you.
Yeah.
Especially in the magazine days when it was just like we had the game 6 to 8 weeks in advance, and it was just like, well, I guess maybe we could talk to the people over at the other magazines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope that they've got a tip. But yeah, I've also done the radically overthink the solution a million times.
I was sweating and I was like, someone else is gonna have to review this. I'm bad at video games.
Suddenly the existential dread sets
Oh,
in.
it was
Just like I'm
awful.
a fake, I'm a phony.
Yeah. I was like contemplating mortality. It was a moment.
That
No,
exact
no.
thing. And sorry, go
I
ahead.
say, did you not want to contact PR?
I did contact PR in the end, and they were just like,
God, I-
keep shooting him in the head.
Yeah, you should- that's like the final straw.
It
Be
is,
Like, I
it's-
can't.
It's so
I
embarrassing.
hate sending that email.
It's the
I hate
worst.
sending that
Yeah.
email.
There's a reviewer here that I don't want to say what game it was for or what it was, but I was working on the wiki, and then the reviewer contacted me. He's like, "Hey, did you have this problem here where this door wouldn't open?" Just like, no, like you just walk up to it and it's fine. He's like, I can't get it, and we split. Like he had to like Skype me at the time, and then we just kind of tried to figure things. I was like, no, go over there, go left. Yep. Nope. And then so I couldn't figure it out from like just my phone, and so then he had to contact PR, and it was like the dumbest thing. I felt
Oh,
so
no.
bad.
Did you turn
I'm not
it
gonna
to
say
the
what it is.
left? Oh,
just
to the
wasn't-
right. No, to the left. There you go.
It just
These
things
righty tighty
happen.
lefty loosey.
These
Yeah.
things do
it's
happen.
just like that immense
Game design
stress
is
of you're
serious
sitting
business.
here trying to get through this game and evaluate it as well as you can, and then sometimes little things like that happen.
Yeah.
Where it's just like you're just not close enough, or something just doesn't.
Or
Prop
you're too
right.
close. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the worst.
Worse.
You can appreciate this because you're as passionate about it as I am. But that exact situation happened with me with Bloodborne.
Oh.
Like as I'm trying to review that game,
No.
Bloodborne is such a weird, cryptic. And all of From's games like that are. All the Soulsborne series are. But like I got to Vicar Amelia, reviewing it on like day 2 or something, and I fought Vicar Amelia for 24 hours straight.
Oh, I actually think I would have been crying.
It was so awful. The worst part about those From games is like it's so cryptic, but you can't Google anything because no one has the game yet.
I think I've cried once while writing a wiki. I got stuck on a boss fight and I was so frustrated because I don't think it was Halo. It was something where I was playing on like the hardest level to get tips or something, and I just couldn't do it, and I was so angry. And then I cried. And then I put it down for 20 minutes. It came back and I beat it.
Yeah, that's usually the cure is just walk away from it for a bit and then you come back and get it like right away.
But also cry.
Yeah.
That might be in the mix as
and that's
well.
how it works for me.
jobs.
I was overthinking it and I was like, oh, so I'll just run straight at her and hit her in the back legs. Okay, cool.
Anyways.
And we did it.
Anyway,
So,
sorry
Game
for
Awards
massive,
predictions.
massive detour.
Fine. Enjoy.
Brandon, give us one.
Apologize to whoever puts the timestamps in the YouTube comment. Mine's going to be boring. I'm going to be pretty practical. I think we're going to see a tease of Crystal D's Avengers game.
Okay.
Could see that. You got the Russo
You got the
brothers
Russos
presenting
there.
something.
I don't know if they're going to be tied to that project at all, but I imagine whatever it is they're there to do, I imagine them saying, oh, yeah, and this other thing.
Right.
Yeah,
that
there's
we're
not
connected
a
with.
whole lot of other reasons I'd see them being there other than that. Like, why else would you have them?
But that's a question I've sort of been asking myself after Jeff's been announcing these presenters, because so many of them are Hollywood based, like they're Hollywood actor types, like directors and such. You know, is there a rationale behind that beyond, hey, we've got these famous people, tune in?
So I genuinely think yes. I think that I mean, the video game industry makes more than movies and music combined yearly, right? So it's been weird to say that like video games are becoming more mainstream because commercially they're more successful than other entertainment out there. But for lack of a better phrase, video games are becoming more mainstream. You have more Hollywood talent being injected into them, as you saw with like Call of Duty every year has an A-list actor. So I could definitely see them pulling Hollywood talent in to be sort of to validate almost the award show.
You'd want to get viewers. And
That's what
I'm saying. It's like, it's a slightly cynical viewpoint from my perspective. Like, I would love it if the Russo brothers were there for any other reason than cred.
So you mean just
then
because
cred,
they
like cred,
they love video games and just wanted to be there?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Which is entirely
that's another very lovely spin on it.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, why not bring Josh Brolin in and have him do the Thanos voice and be like, I'm looking forward to fighting the Avengers again in Crystal Dynamics' new Avengers Infinity Forever, you know?
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty fun.
Jeff Keighley, if you need another executive producer, my guy Brandon here is available. Dial him up.
I will not wait for that call.
Game Awards, 5:30 p.m., streaming right here on our YouTube, our Twitch, just any of the IGN places you can watch it right along with us.
Oh, tangential, Joseph Ferris says the F word again, so I'm just going to call that out.
Oh, yeah, that's good. I think that's a pretty solid prediction there, Brandon.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to be a skit. That's going to be pushed in. They're going to give him his own segment.
Yeah.
You have to.
I think it needs to be a skit because otherwise what is he going to do? Like off the cuff eccentric behavior. Like it won't read the same.
He's like, all right, time to get into character.
Yeah.
Be organic or
He's a great guy. Watch the IGN Unfiltered with Joseph Ferris, where I made him watch that very segment back. It was really good.
It's really
I
good,
forgot you did that. That's
yeah,
really
it was one of the more fun Unfiltereds that I've had the pleasure of doing.
Your family is visiting for the holidays and you know everyone is going to try to get their hands on your Xbox One. Picture it, every single family member is smashing, mashing, and drooling on your controllers. It's just not okay. The only drool that should touch your controllers is your own. There must be a way to avoid it, right? Wrong. No, actually, that's right. There is a solution. Get them all their own controllers. Get your brother the PlayerUnknown's Battleground controller to battle his way to the final circle. Pick up the Armed Forces 2 controller to appease your dad's camo affections. Get your niece a Great Blue controller to match her brand new Too Cool to Hug You personality. That's how you'll make everyone feel special. And that's how you let everyone win. But most importantly, that's how you let yourself win. Here's what you do. Whether you're adding to your own collection or trying to protect it, find the perfect gifts for the gamers in your life at MicrosoftStore.com. And don't forget to check out all the latest and greatest controller designs.
All right, news-wise, so a lot of speculation. Okay, well, who's going to be at the Game Awards? What announcements will be made? One of the big rumors that got hot and heavy was, hey, Rocksteady it's been 3 years, actually about 3.5 since Batman Arkham Knight shipped. Not since it was announced, since it shipped. That means Rocksteady's got something cooking. What is it? We didn't see it at E3. And everybody thought, well, Game Awards might be the time. After all, Batman Arkham City, the original, the sequel, was announced at the Game Awards. So, is that it? Well, no. Sefton Hill, the co-founder and the game director at Rocksteady, taking to Twitter to say, looking forward to the Game Awards this year. We're still hard at work in our development bunker, so don't expect an announcement from Rocksteady. When it's ready to show, you'll be the first to know. Spoiler, it's not Superman.
Woo! I don't like Superman, so it's kind of excited.
Yeah, F Superman.
I don't know, he's just kind of boring.
Yeah,
Well,
but fun to play.
No one has made
is true.
a great
Probably.
video game with where you primarily play as Superman.
I said
It's
maybe
not
they
been
could
done.
have they could have convinced me on Superman, but
It hasn't.
no, it's not. I'm hoping Batman Beyond. Give me a futuristic.
I mean,
Batman.
I'm so with you on that. I know Greg Miller is with you on that as well.
That would be cool.
It would be a brilliant fit for a video game and for Rocksteady's talents. I mean, I'll pre-order 37 copies of Batman Beyond made by
I'd
Rocksteady.
probably cry if they announced that.
Especially if they get Kevin Conroy back to voice old Bruce Wayne.
Oh, yeah,
and
that'd be amazing.
I don't recall he's from the voice actor who played Terry was from Boy Meets World, right? Wasn't
What
it?
else he had done?
I don't
I
know.
can't remember the gentleman's name.
You're talking
Yeah,
about
he
the
was great, though.
animated.
The animated
Animated
show.
series, yeah.
Yeah.
The comics were really great too. I had a lot of fun with those.
Return of the
So,
Joker
there's
is
so
one of the
much.
best. That was like the original amazing DC animated movie, and now we just get amazing DC animated movies all the
Yeah.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then, okay, what is Rocksteady doing? If it's not Superman, what do you guys think it is?
Hanging out with Bebop.
What?
Ninja Turtles reference? No? Okay.
Well, I'm more of a Rocksteady guy.
Okay.
I get it now. That took me like a good,
Yeah.
like
Never mind. Continue.
10 seconds.
All right.
Well done,
Let's just
Brandon.
edit that out. Let's edit that out.
No, I love
Take
it.
two
No,
and-
no,
okay.
we're keeping that.
Use
we're keeping
take two. Use take two.
I reckon, you know what would be so cheeky if it was a Justice League game, and then he's like, it's not a Superman game.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, technically, it's not.
that's actually my exact line of thinking as well. It's
Yeah.
not a Superman game. It's a Justice
Well,
League.
that's the rumor was that it was World's Finest, which is Batman and Superman with a dash of Robin thrown in. And so, yeah, that I had that same thought as well. It's like, well, maybe he's just sort of sidestepping it.
Yeah.
It's still World's Finest.
Yeah. I mean, I would be totally down with that because I do want to play as Superman. I know he's boring. I know he's everyone's most boring.
Everyone's most boring hero.
Very few people in the world are like, yes, Superman's my favorite superhero.
I think a lot of people are.
I think there are a lot of people who really like him.
I
but-
forget that I'm in America now.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true, huh?
There's just so many more interesting superheroes to feature. But maybe they could
Yeah.
give him a better character. I mean, it's not that there's not a lot there that exists. It's just all the recent things we've had, in particular, haven't been great for Superman.
Yeah.
And so that makes him even more less interesting. It's just go away.
I'd also be really keen for a Wonder Woman game in the vein
Oh,
of
yeah.
God of War.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that'd be good.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, I mean, Superman is not the most interesting hero out there, I think, but he's one of the most bankable. So I think,
Superman 64 says, "What's up, Brandon Tyrell?"
hey, guess who QA'd that? I think game development being what it is, like you need that bankable hero. So I think Wonder Woman is the next most likely coming off her like just blockbuster movie. But with Aquaman coming out soon, and the Justice League is not too far behind us, I think a Justice League movie or a Justice League game could probably be in the cards. I was thinking either that or considering WB Studios work on licenses, by and large, I was thinking maybe Mad Max, but Avalanche is working on Just Cause, so and Rage 2. So my other guess was a full-fledged, honest-to-goodness Harry Potter game.
Oh yeah,
Well-
that was a thing.
There's the rumor that that's in development at the other Avalanche, the one that made Disney Infinity.
Okay.
Yeah, if you remember that leak from IGN.com.
It's a very interesting league.
I've never heard of that.
We'll see.
Line of thinking being Rocksteady's a British game development studio.
That's
and
fair.
The Harry Potter series takes place in some sort of
Right.
facsimile of
The
Britain.
Fable theory. Running the Fable theory on it.
Right. Yes.
What kind of game would that be?
I would imagine like full-fledged third-person action adventure, more adventure-based than action, I would imagine. But you learn your spells, you attend class.
Yeah, because it's kind of like the one that was leaked or rumored to be leaked.
All these leaks. Where can I find these leaks?
I don't know, IGN.com is a good place for those.
IGN.com.
You make a good point, though, is
Would be-
odds are that whatever Rocksteady's project is, it's not an original IP.
Yeah.
They are a WB wholly owned subsidiary. They bought them after Arkham Asylum hit big. They purchased the studio.
Smart.
And yeah, that has clearly paid off for them so far. But yeah, what's their faces in Seattle? Monolith doesn't get to work on new IPs anymore like they did back in the early days. They're on Lord of the Rings stuff. I would imagine that it will be a WB intellectual property. It's just a question of which one. So
Maybe out.
that
keep
I
hinting it.
could not possibly want that more as well. That would be, they'd still be not doing a Batman game anymore. It's a Terry McGinnis game.
Yeah, it's a different Batman.
It's different Batman. Yeah, you get a lot of it's more of a video gamey universe too, right? Like with all this high tech and cool,
There's a lot of
everything's
space
faster
to flesh that out too, and kind of take a lot of creative liberties with it because it isn't as established as Batman or Superman or any of the other heroes.
right.
Cool.
Well, we'll see. The only studio in the WB Games portfolio that I'm aware of that's allowed to make original IP is NetherRealm with Mortal Kombat, which of course they were making Mortal Kombat long before WB acquired them, and it is one of the biggest video game franchises on the planet. So they're sort of grandfathered in on that one.
Yeah.
But they make Injustice, a DC property, thus owned by WB. So I don't know, man. If we're not seeing Rocksteady at this show, I guess we're back to E3 next year to reset the hype calendar. We'll see.
Probably good. They have plenty of space and time.
Yes.
Probably.
All right. Speaking of hype,
No.
BioWare teasing Dragon Age 4. We know it's been in development. It's an open secret. But Casey Hudson, the studio head, saying, if you've been following these blogs, meaning the BioWare blogs, or myself and Mark Dara on Twitter, you know we're also working on some secret Dragon Age stuff. Dragon Age is an incredibly important franchise in our studio, and we're excited to continue its legacy. Look for more on this in the coming month, though I won't tell you where to look, which would seemingly either indicate the Game Awards or maybe the next cover of Game Informer as a reveal that way, because it's either probably one of those two or us, and it's not us. I would be the first to tell you.
But
if it
tune
was
in
us.
anyway, just in case.
Dude, remember that IGN.com place? Not for this.
Okay. Never mind.
We'll have coverage of it wherever it debuts.
We know.
But
You'll know.
Go to google.com.
yeah, so what do you guys want out of Dragon Age 4? I know it seems like a running theme. What do you want out of this? But we're getting all these teases. We know Dragon Age has been in the works for a while. Where does that series go from here?
Well, I think I am super excited, by the way. I love the Dragon Age series. The only game I don't like in that series is 2, for obvious reasons. I know a lot of people are either super high on it or super low on it, but I think what they did with Inquisition, though it had plenty of problems, is the direction they're going to continue to go. Open world, lots of characters, your traditional sort of companion-driven first-person story game. And I think specifically now, after the reveal of Anthem being a multiplayer-focused online cooperative game, the lack of that sort of traditional storytelling RPG adventure that players, expect out of BioWare, I think Dragon Age, if not the game itself, but certainly this announcement is BioWare's chance, or maybe their opportunity that they're expecting to be able to say, hey, don't worry about it. We still got what you come to BioWare for. And I think even more than Mass Effect, Dragon Age is now positioned to be the sort of main series for that.
Well, it kind of has to be.
Yeah, especially after Andromeda.
After Andromeda,
The thing that always gets me is that Andromeda was not a bad game.
No,
Like,
it was
straight
just
up
it was a bad Mass Effect game. It's like how Saint Anger's a bad Metallica album.
I'll agree with that.
Brandon,
You know about that?
You are stone-faced straight ahead. I don't even know.
You know my thoughts on St. Anger, and I won't share them here.
I'm completely on board. Like, I agree. What we need, what I would love right now is just a classic RPG series that I know and love. It isn't trying anything totally, new. It's not reinventing the wheel. It's just continuing doing what it did so well in the Inquisition. And for me, that's just like more characters,
More dragons.
more drama.
Yes.
Because I love that series for the drama.
Me too.
Like, Inquisition was just ridiculous.
It is so over the top.
Yes.
I'm in love with you, but I'm also a god.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Dragon Age has always been. Remember when the first game came out, Origins. It had been in development for like 6 years.
Yeah.
It was a long gestating project for them, and I feel like that series has always held on to one of its core principles, which to me is like it's sort of the connective tissue back to BioWare's early days with Baldur's Gate. Like it is a lot of that same, just very rich lore. A lot, like as you guys are saying, a lot of character-driven stuff that, as the rest of the industry and even their other teams have gone a little more actiony with be it Mass Effect, be it now, of course, Anthem, and certainly the industry at large with their not a lot of role-playing games are this sort of old school, I guess, is a way to put it.
So I agree with you on the principle of that, but I disagree on how it was sort of implemented. I agree that Dragon Age is the series. And sorry, we have B-roll on the screen. And I'm just like, God, I gotta go back and play this game.
I want to go back and play it. Yeah, I still have it downloaded.
I agree. Dragon Age really does, continue to carry that torch of world building and characters and interactions and myriad possibilities of what you can get into and up to. But it's clear that, there's some influence in there as far as trend-wise or what sells. Dragon Age 1 was very, very much sort of a close cousin to the old BioWare. You could play it regularly. You could play it in that top-down sort of strategic mode. You could pause it. And then Dragon Age 2 came out, and I think the much-touted PR line was, for Dragon Age 2, we want one rule to be true. You press a button and something awesome happens.
Well, they and I don't say this in a super negative way, but they did kind of consoleify it. The first one was designed as a PC game.
Correct.
It was ported to the 360, and it didn't necessarily run super great, and it was clearly a PC game adapted to the gamepad. Whereas
as evident by on PC, you could play it totally isometrically.
Right.
Whereas on consoles, it was that sort of over-the-shoulder third person.
And then two and three have been more designed with everything in mind rather than purely a mouse keyboard PC scenario.
Yeah. Two I think took it a tad too far, where it was boiled down to the point where it wasn't the same experience. And then 3 sort of righted that ship for me. Granted, it certainly helped that the world was massive and you could do anything. So you had that sort of action adventure style that's so popular these days in an open world. But you also had, just pages and pages and pages of dialogue and lore and the history of some weird dude that did something, but it's all written there and you can learn it, And I just want more of that. Just give me more of that. Yeah. And dragons.
We'll see. So BioWare is shipping Anthem in February of 2019. And the Dragon Age team has been at work for quite a while. I mean, Dragon Age Inquisition was our 2014 game of the year. So they've been at work for 4 years. I wonder if it's possible BioWare might ship 2 games in 2019.
I was thinking the same thing as well. Anthem gets them through that spring area, and then since it's a persistent game, you carry over that engagement through the fall, and then maybe Dragon Age drops in the fall.
I think it's just a very, very strong possibility of that. All right, next up here, the Gears of War movie. It's still hanging around. It's a project that's been kicking around Hollywood for a while. Lucy's already chuckling, which tells me this segment's going to go well. From this, the source here is The Wrap. F. Scott Fraser, who, no, not F. Scott Fitzgerald, who previously wrote Collide, XXX, Return of Xander Cage. My bad. Let me get that full title correct.
How dare you?
I don't want to disrespect the diesel. And other things, has been brought on to write Universal Pictures' Gears of War adaptation. This news comes after last year's report that the film would be written by Avatar 2 screenwriter Shane Salerno, who has apparently now been replaced by Mr. F. Scott Frazier.
How long has this project been bouncing around?
It's been a while.
About as long as the Halo one.
Yeah.
I mean,
Maybe not.
You're not wrong.
Not quite as long.
Yeah, it's
bit
been a
after.
while. It was optioned. I mean, that was back like there was like a run on the movie studios picking up game IPs. Like there was going to be the BioShock movie by who was going to direct that again? You guys remember?
No.
It was a big name director.
There's been so many people in
Totally
and out of
blanking
all
out
of these
now, but-
projects that it's
Del
hard
Toro?
to keep
Like I
track
want to
at
say
this
Del
point.
Toro, but that can't be right.
Yeah, no, I forget who.
No,
Anyway,
I don't think so.
there was
That would be cool.
Yeah,
though.
there were a
There
bunch
were a
of
few people attached to that project. That
Yeah.
all, of course, left.
So Gears, as we stand now, it's been so long that this has been kicking around Hollywood that now we have an entire new cast in the Gears of War games. We've got the next generation.
Yeah.
It's like Star Trek: The Next Generation now. So the question is the film, should it finally get made, is it going to be the original cast or the Next Generation crew? Let's assume that it'll be the original crew for now.
I agree. I think
So let's cast this thing. Who should play the 4 main meatheads in this adaptation?
barrel number 1, barrel number 2, barrel number 3.
I mean, I'll start. This is not an original thought. Others have said this, and in fact, the actor himself has openly campaigned for the role. I would love to see Dave Bautista in the role of Marcus
I think
Phoenix.
recently Rod Ferguson, I think it was even today, tweeted a photo of like Dave's action figure
Yeah.
for his like wrestling action figure, and he posted a photo of it. It's like, oh, look what came into the office today or something. It's like, maybe it's a hint.
Just messing with people a little bit.
Yeah, I think that'd be kind of fun if he's actually wanting to be a part of it. He kind of fits the physique, of course.
He's proven to be such a fun actor in the
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Just
Yeah.
you know, both a physical actor, but a really good comedic actor. And I feel like he would totally, especially that he wants the role really
Yeah.
badly. Like
And we saw how that happened with The Witcher. So
yes,
It's really important too.
turns out you can just claim whatever role you want. That's how it works.
I don't think that's quite how Hollywood works.
Well, I'm just gonna pretend that John Waters is directing this movie,
Oh, okay.
and I'm gonna cast a wide neck guy. I don't know. You may need to close up on this.
Yeah, that was a mugshot, right?
This is his mugshot. This is like wide neck guy. He's just got like a really wide neck.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's
Claim to fame.
kind of made a thing out of it on the internet, and he just like met up with skinny neck guy.
I saw that viral video.
Yeah,
Yes.
so that's who I'm casting.
Oh boy. Okay.
So wait, as Coltrane or
Just
All
like,
of them.
All of
all of
It's a
them?
one.
They,
It's
they've
a
all
one-man
got
show.
really
Like-
wide necks.
It's
It's
a
gonna be
one-man
like
Very
a-
artistic.
like Multiplicity, where Michael Keaton played all the clones,
That's
all
a
the
deep
parts.
cut. Nicely done.
right? Right? What's up? I grew up in the 90s. It's fine.
I honestly didn't expect to hear a multiplicity reference.
in a Gears of War segment.
We like to keep it eclectic.
How we do it here.
And who knows? You know, Michael Keaton's back, so maybe he'll be in the Gears of War movie.
He could be Hoffman. Actually, you know what? That's really good casting. He should totally play Colonel Hoffman.
There you go.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
Another piece of the
We
puzzle.
did it.
Come on!
It's all coming together.
Am I wrong?
I'm going to say, so I talked to Miranda a little bit about this. She does not agree with me. I think for Dom, there aren't that many barrel-chested, no-neck beefcake men of Latino descent that's super, popular in Hollywood. But I think Michael Pena would be a good casting choice for that.
Miranda vigorously nodding her head.
If he put on
no.
about 20 pounds of muscle, because it's an important distinction. Because not only does he have the dramatic chops that we've seen, but he's got the sarcastic comedic delivery that could help emphasize those moments of levity.
Be like
Miranda,
me
what do
playing
you
Bear.
think?
No. He's like perfect for rom-coms and stuff. I don't think he's
Lit
good here.
at to
He's
spread
just-
their wings.
Yeah, don't put him in a
Hey,
box.
Jim Carrey turned out to be an amazing dramatic actor.
Guys,
Yeah.
it's just not. I think I need to consult my grandma. We need to look at some telenovelas
Okay.
Yeah.
and find someone that's not really super popular here. Because we've seen actually a few telenovela actors and actresses come to bigger Hollywood productions, and I think that's actually worked out really well.
Yeah.
And so I think there are a lot of Latino talent we could dig into that haven't really been popular in Hollywood yet.
Yeah,
That
and
fit super well with this.
that's the shame, right? Is like they're out there, but
Here's a chance.
Hollywood,
There's a chance.
especially for like popcorn flicks, really want bankable names, so it's tough to like get new blood injected into it.
Well, they got the title Gears of War. It's fine.
That's true. All right. Coltrane, it could not be more of an obvious choice. You have to cast Terry Crews.
Yeah.
Come on.
Terry
That'd
loves
be so
Holden.
No one disagrees with me on that.
Not at all.
He'd be fun.
He is.
He's like the thinner, wide neck guy.
Yeah.
All right, Lucy, I see how this segment's
Listen,
going
just
for you.
cast everyone
As wide neck guy.
wide neck guy for all.
We've already established it's a one-man show.
I really, in all seriousness, I think Terry Crews is one of the most underrated comedic actors
Yeah,
in
he's
Hollywood.
great.
I adore.
He is incredible.
Yeah, he is easily in like my top 10 favorite male lead.
Like, I
Brooklyn
laugh-
Nine-Nine, he's fantastic.
Yeah, every time he's on screen, it's great.
Not only that, but like he's also fairly able to.
Oh, he's got the physicality for the role. There's
Well,
no,
No
yeah,
question.
absolutely. I mean, he does run on whole grain. He's got the chops to do both the comedic and the dramatic. So
yeah.
I think he's really, really
Yeah.
well suited.
I think out of everyone, that's the most ideal pick.
Most gimme.
Yeah. All right. Anybody got any thoughts on Mr. Baird?
Yeah, we talked about it a little before. Maybe Armie Hammer or Josh Duhamel.
Yeah.
Or
Tom Hardy
Tom.
I feel
Oh,
like
Tom Hardy
could be in there somewhere. I feel like he could just be in there anywhere.
But he'd have to wear a mask in the film.
Yeah.
Baird doesn't wear a
What
every
about-
role, he's got something on his face.
I mean, realistically, if we think about the actors who would be drawn to this project, it's not going to be Hammer.
Armie Hammer. Yeah.
It's not going to be him because he's up there in the kind of indie like dramatic.
Yeah.
Like he's got some like
He's got some
he's
indie
been
cred.
credit
Yeah.
now,
Which
you
is
know?
crazy for a guy named Armie Hammer. But
Yeah, it is.
You would
Who
think-
would have thought?
you would think
no
that-
one at his primary school.
Yeah.
Um,
You would think he like guns for the next Die Hard or something.
yeah, I'm thinking along the lines of someone like Gerard Butler.
Interesting call.
You know, he would be the type of guy who would legitimately put up his hand for this. Eric Bana.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, if we're thinking,
Okay.
we just got to think a little less lofty.
You know who? Well,
Yeah, I was going to say Bradley Cooper. Is that too A-list?
That is
Wait,
way
that's
too
really-
A-list.
yeah.
Imagine he goes from A Star Is Born to.
Yeah.
You know what?
Did
What is
he-
it in Hollywood? It's like one for me, one for them.
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
like that.
that's-
And
that's
this
the
could be the
rule.
one for them.
That's the
Yeah,
rule.
but that's like one for them, like one for like.
What if he really
them.
likes
enough-
Gears of War?
yeah, that.
never
and
know.
You put enough zeros on the check. Who's going to say no?
That's the thing. Did Cooper win an Academy Award for Silver Linings?
He was nominated for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like
He
if
was
you have an
definitely-
Oscar, you can't be in the Gears of War movie.
I just wanna
Like,
put out
think-
there that
Yeah.
I know
feel like
nothing about
that's the
actors.
rule.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I don't know what
You
they
need
want.
somebody to.
You need that anchor that like Anthony Hopkins will be in there playing like some colonel or something in the background.
Hello, Marcus.
I don't know. What about Scott Eastwood, like Clint's son?
Yeah, Scott Eastwood would be another good pick. I mean, he's just, he's just very generic.
He's very perfect for age.
Yeah.
No offense to Eastwood, but like he went from Taylor Swift music videos to the Sinister Six.
How do you know this?
I'm a big Eastwood
Very
fan.
impressive.
All the Eastwoods, Clint, Scott.
So like I could follow. So I'm one of
Daryl.
those people that can follow along with certain celebrity names for a while, and then after a while, I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah, I have
Sounds
this.
great. Cool.
The reason I'm good at trivia is because I never forget the
yeah,
crap
that's
that I should forget, and I
Right.
remember like important
Well-
birthday, or I forget important birthdays.
Hey, if we
else.
can digitally de-age Anthony Hopkins in whatever the last Hannibal Lecter movie was, and we can digitally de-age Samuel L. Jackson in Captain Marvel,
Yeah.
I say Val Kilmer. Just digitally de-age him.
Okay.
I mean,
Now,
he
He's paired.
he also possibly needs the work.
Right?
Yeah. Still hanging out for that Kiss
I'm
Kiss Bang
being
Bang
really
sequel.
mean, but I'm
Yeah.
also being realistic here.
It's true.
Just saying. I think he'd be good at it.
I think he'd be great.
I think he'd be good.
I think Val Kilmer's great at just about everything he does. But what?
Me too.
Except Batman.
Oh, I liked him in Batman.
Wait,
Yeah,
who's
he
in
was Batman.
He was Batman.
The third
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
forever.
Oh, I mean that
I like that movie.
movie never
Yeah.
had a
I
chance.
was also a very small child when I watched it. So
Him and Clooney were.
Joel Schumacher, ladies
yeah.
and gentlemen.
Him and Clooney were both a little catfished with those.
Oh,
those
definitely.
I mean, once it came to the rubber nipples, you're just like, all right, you know what?
least
it's the
Clooney-
Seinfeld gif, which is like, meh.
Oh yeah. At least Clooney I mean, I don't know about Kilmer, but Clooney definitely laughs about it now.
Yeah.
yeah, you have to. Right? You have no other choice.
I mean, there was a scene in that movie where Robin goes, "Holy rusted metal, Batman," and you're like, "What?" And there's like rusted metal on the ground. It's like, okay, All right.
Yeah.
Like 5-year-old Miranda is dying in the audience.
Yeah.
I almost walked out of Batman and Robin when it got to the Bat MasterCard
Oh
joke.
yeah.
Oh,
I was
God.
like, this is
Oh my God.
beyond
Yeah.
the pale.
Yeah.
This is not like
This
is
who
a
loves
kid.
that? It's me. When I was a little child.
So I always loved Batman as a kid, and then when I saw the Tim Burton one in '89,
Yes.
it was my favorite movie ever as in my young life.
He
It
totally
was
nailed that
incredible.
noir.
Yeah,
element
and then
to it.
Batman Returns was great, and then like
Batman Returns is my favorite.
You
comic book.
flush it, I flaunt it.
Right. Forever was, like, oh God, okay, I don't know what direction this is going. But then, yeah, Batman and Robin was just like, I'm offended now. Like, what's happening?
It's like Forever, like the sort of the cart was like
Yeah.
shaking on
You're
the
like,
tracks.
it could go either way.
And then like Batman and Robin, it's like the cart is on Mars now.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it didn't just veer off the track; it went to a different planet.
It's
kind of
like
this podcast today.
right. I know,
Fine,
right?
Whatever.
Sorry.
It's
We're
like
going off script.
Joel
Do it live.
Schumacher takes over for Tim Burton and says, "Okay, well, I'm gonna sort of put my own take on this comic booky world."
Comic,
And-
emphasis on comic.
Yeah, and does Forever, and then there's a meeting with WB executives after that movie, and they're like, "Okay, we'll do another one." And all right, Kilmer's out. We've got Clooney. Which way do we want to go? And then they just go hard left or hard right, just like woo off the cliff.
Yeah.
And
good
killed the
times.
franchise for 10 years.
But Miranda had a good time.
Yeah.
You're part of the problem,
So
right?
small. I was a child.
But that movie did introduce us to Seal's Kiss from a Rose, which is
Forever did.
In-
Yeah.
Forever did.
forever.
was-
Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
Actually, the soundtrack's the best part of
It
Batman.
is
and
Yeah.
Robin.
arguably
There's
one
a,
of
there's
the
a
best
U2
songs
song
It is.
on there.
I would say it's in top 3.
It's
So
really
there's
good.
actually a
Oh
lot
yeah,
of-
I'll agree with you.
Yeah.
Well, maybe top 5.
The Offspring are on there.
Yeah.
It's like a cool 90s soundtrack.
I feel like a lot
Only
of
good U2 song.
Right?
Yes.
Oh, hold me, kiss me, kill me,
Yeah.
thrill me,
Yeah.
or whatever it was.
Yeah, you got it.
I feel like there's a lot of movies out there that aren't great, but have great soundtracks. Like all the Twilight movies.
The
Great
90s,
soundtracks.
I feel like the 90s was like peak movie soundtrack era. And it's like, because nobody buys albums anymore. So movie soundtracks are not a thing that movie studios think about and curate anymore. Anyway, welcome to Keeping It Real. For the second week in a row,
We're
we've
still
managed
excited about
to.
movies.
Oh, did
we're
you guys
talking about-
go off the rails last week?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was it's been turned into a movie show for a little while.
Great. Good times.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So we have Batista. We have maybe Michael.
Talking with my grandma for
Right,
television
maybe
actors.
we have
Working with Miranda's
we're
grandma.
gonna
we have an
pencil
up
in-
and comer.
We're
Yeah.
gonna pencil in Michael Pena for now, tentatively to be determined.
I like him a lot, but no. Anyway,
Who did we do for Baird?
we had a few names. We were pretty indecisive on that one.
Oh,
Genera dude.
Genera dude.
Well,
yeah.
you guys went Army Hammer.
What about Keith Urban?
Keith
What the
Urban.
hell did you
What?
just say?
Doesn't he sing
Why?
country music?
Because
Nobody
wait,
does.
am I thinking of the Carl Urban? I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
I was like, he's a country musician.
That's what I'm so proud of myself. I remembered that. Yay.
I was like,
Yes.
wait,
what's
he
wrong
had-
with
My
you?
one pop culture blind spot, country music.
I know a little bit of that.
Carl
Yeah,
Urban.
Carl Urban. Yeah, but again, he's
Oh,
like
no.
Eric Bana. Like
They're all kinda
Gerard
interchangeable.
Butler, they're all
Yeah.
kind of interchangeable.
I just think I'm thinking like blonde men with chiseled jaws, and I
Right.
keep going back to him in Two Towers rather than as Dredd, you know. And he pulled off the blonde wig. I will say that. I mean, it went down to his belly button,
Yeah.
but he pulled it
Carl
off.
Urban, no stranger to video game adaptations, star of Doom.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I saw that recently.
Yeah.
nice.
Also starring The Rock.
Also starring The Rock, who could
movie.
quite probably fill any of these 4 roles as well.
Yeah, it's
And Coltrane, Terry Crews,
Locked in.
and stunt double for everyone.
yeah,
Wide neck guy.
wide neck guy.
We did it, you guys.
Oh,
We
you
did
know,
it.
You know, I don't know why we didn't just consider this. Is like you can cast this entire movie with the roster of the WWE. So just grab four wrestlers.
Easily.
You could.
Yeah,
And maybe we will.
probably.
Daniel Bryan is Baird.
Yeah, I could see that. John Cena is.
All right. We are just wasting everyone's lives away.
only
while
43
they're
minutes
listening
in,
to
and
this.
we-
John
We're
Cena
just
did
getting
that movie about the bull, didn't he? That animated movie?
Oh yeah, Fernando.
Just throwing that out there.
But John Cena also was in Blockers, which was one of the best comedies of this year.
Pretty funny.
If you
It
haven't
really
seen
was.
it, watch it.
Pretty
Aw.
good.
It really
Maybe-
was.
maybe they'll
Don't
do it.
watch it with your parents, and if you're a parent, don't watch it with your kids.
Yeah.
But
idea.
definitely check it out.
All right. The last news story I want to cover this week. also pertains to the world of television and film and video games. It's Halo. So Showtime's Halo series, 2 steps forward, 1 step back for this thing.
I just love how all the entertainment products we're talking about are like, oh, delayed.
Well, the Halo television series has lost its director, not its showrunner, so it's not a sky is falling situation here. I had a few. There was one guy in my Twitter feed in particular who was just like really mad because all I tweeted was "Welp" and then quote tweeted the IGN story about losing the director, and it's like I didn't even put an opinion on that, man. You just drew all that out yourself.
Yeah, working through some stuff.
But Rupert Wyatt, who was on board as a director and also an executive producer for the series, says the split is amicable. There's been an extension of the show's production schedule. Hey, they want to get a lot done, and they're taking their time with this, and that's great. But he has to step away due to scheduling conflict now. So, still though, it just for something that's been stuck in the development hell and limbo that this is in. It doesn't. Again, I'm not saying it's terrible, but it just doesn't. It's just another thing that doesn't reflect well on the Halo TV show, as it tries for the 37th time to get off the ground and shot and onto your television screen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have high hopes for that series, and the more complicated it gets, my hopes.
Well, it can't get any more complicated than this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost 10 years in the making now.
It's not that far, but
I'm sorry.
It was
a honest-to-goodness Halo
5
entertainment product.
Because it was, I want to say that
movie.
It was the Spielberg thing on the video at E3 of might have been 14.
Yeah,
because I don't think that was part of the
when Bonnie Ross came out.
Yeah, but then they had a message from Spielberg. Remember?
Right. Yeah. They played it. He was direct cam.
Yeah.
So for any of these sort of video game movie series or just movies, whatever it may be, I always keep myself at 0 expectations.
Oh, so you can only go up.
Right. It's healthy.
Maybe.
Well,
I don't know.
We'll see.
I just
dig in a hole for negative expectations.
Well, I mean, like the precedent set by everything else we've had so far has just had such a tough time adapting these things because they're meant to be video games and not movies, not short stories. It's just hard to cram all that in there. So I always just try to give them the benefit of the doubt. Just clean slate. Good luck. Update us when you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wyatt says, my time on Halo has been a creatively rich and rewarding experience with a phenomenal team of people. I now join the legion of fans out there excited to see the finished series and wishing everyone involved the best. The president of programming at Showtime, Gary Levine, says, Showtime's adaptation of Halo is evolving beautifully with rich characters, compelling stories, and powerful scripts. Obviously, the production demands of this series are enormous, and we have had to add time to the schedule in order to do it right. Sadly, this delay has created a conflict for Rupert, whom we warmly thank for all he has brought to the project.
That's good. I like everything that says. It's sad that the director had to leave, but he had to leave because they need more time to make the product better, and that is never a bad thing.
Yeah. It's so we'll see. I mean, I don't know if we'll see it in 2019 at all, or if it will finally make it to the air in 2020. I think were we talking about this on air or off, or about if they debut it in 2020, like kind of as a push into Halo Infinite and Scarlet? And
that was at our desks.
Yeah.
So
could make sense.
I think.
It could
got a camera.
Accidentally make sense for Microsoft.
I feel like it would be more of a coincidental thing as opposed to a planned thing.
For sure.
Yeah.
But
especially because then it would kind of like smack of promotion rather than a
True.
standalone series.
Right, with creative integrity.
and they have partners, so they're not. It's not just like, oh, we can do whatever we want. Like this stuff has to go by Showtime too.
Right.
You know?
They've got programming blocks to fill, and it's maybe going to be there. I mean, they said they want it to be their Game of Thrones. So
okay.
That means
Good luck. That's like saying, I want to make this video I shot viral.
Yeah. Lucy, make some viral content. We need a million views.
a million virals.
Do it. A million virals.
Does anyone have a cat?
Yes, I have 2.
Can you bring them in? Lucy's gonna make some viral content. I'm squarely in the cautiously optimistic. Just after we saw Forward Unto Dawn and all that, like people know how to shoot the Halo universe and with a camera. Not with
Do they though?
0 expectations.
Yeah.
Just keep it there.
Cautious optimism is, I think, the way to be, is the responsible approach outside of no expectation.
Like
Just-
Miranda's got
it's
the
like
correct
I
answer.
read it with the blank face. I'm like, interesting news, and then I move on.
Yes, there was a Halo story today. Okay.
It's just kind of how I try to approach these nowadays.
I imagine you're just drinking tea and like eating bland toast, and you're like, yes, Halo.
How did you know?
So there's that. We'll obviously be tracking everything that happens with the Halo TV series as it does finally continue to make its way closer to your screen. Finally, games with gold for December. UBE2 all month long on Xbox One. I've never even heard of that game,
Yeah, I
but
have
all
no
right.
idea what that is.
Never Alone from the 16th to January 15th.
Oh, this is interesting.
The aforementioned Dragon Age 2.
I wonder why that's free.
December 1st to the 15th. That's now. And Mercenaries Playground of Destruction.
Just Cause before Just Cause was Just
Pretty
Cause.
much. That is from the 16th to the 31st. So,
I played the crap out of that game too.
yeah. Mercenaries was good times.
Yeah, it was. It's just a explosion-filled romp through North Korea.
Yes. So check those out. All free if you are an Xbox Live Gold subscriber. Loot box time. I chose this one myself, actually, just given the
good
time of
question.
year. Yeah. So we can take a trip down memory lane, maybe further derail the show even more today. Why not?
Yeah, we're at 49 minutes, 50 minutes. We got time.
We got a few minutes. Did any of you ever get a game console for Christmas or Hanukkah, the holidays, whatever you may happen to celebrate, and just take us back to that moment? Because that's, as a child, that can be a really special time.
Yes.
I feel like everyone on this panel at least has, yeah?
Probably.
Yeah.
It was for me. It was
Yeah.
the Sega Mega Drive.
Yes.
My
Ooh,
parents, my parents always did this big thing where they would give me like a little bit of the puzzle and then pretend that it was just a mistake.
Oh, that's so awesome.
So they gave me I think it was like the Aladdin, Mega
Yeah,
Drive
yeah,
game. And,
Great game.
And they were like, "Oh, we screwed up. We're so sorry. We meant to get you like a VHS tape or like a Game Boy game or something
Yeah.
like that." And so I was like, "It's okay. It's I like
Yeah, you don't like seeing it.
Just cautious optimism.
yeah. I was like, I think they're kidding, but I'm not too sure.
left
So
eye
I'm
starts
just
twitching.
gonna like."
Yeah, play along.
Yeah, I played along for a while, and then an hour later, my mum said, "Go and check under the tree," and I unwrapped it, and it was a Sega Mega Drive.
It was a VCR.
It was a VCR. Imagine how cool that would have been.
Yeah.
It was the first and only time, no, not the only time, but the first time I remember ever crying from happiness. So I
Oh,
bolted
wow.
into my bedroom and just started crying on my bed because I was so overwhelmed.
Were you like hiding it? Like hiding your tears?
Yeah, I was like,
okay.
but I was like smiling, but I was like hysterical. I was hysterical. Let's just be honest.
You just with a faux face of pillow, just just happy weeps.
Yeah, if I was born in the YouTube era, it would probably be
Be online.
Yeah,
online,
it'd be
yeah.
viral.
It would be viral. Yes.
And your mom would be like laughing behind camera.
Yes.
We got her.
You realize America's Funniest Home Videos just turned it just foretold YouTube.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Gross.
True.
About Bob Saget he knew the whole time.
You want to see some kid hit his dad in the crotch with a wiffle ball bat, and go on YouTube now. You don't have to turn on the TV.
For me, I actually didn't. I never got a console until like I was 20 something. I got the GameCube for Christmas, but I do. I in my actual youth, I was so in love with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game. The classic
Yes.
4-player one. It was the game. It was I was the exact right age for when Ninja Turtles blew up the first time, and that arcade game was just so. It's like, oh my god, you could play all four of you in the arcade. We got to go to Golfland and go play it, and then they did the NES port.
Yeah.
Konami brought it to the console, and I just wanted it so much. I wanted that game so much, and I got it for Christmas, whatever that year it came out, and it was just like, I wouldn't quite say I was hysterical.
Yeah. Did
But
you weep?
But it was like when you just ask me, stream of consciousness, just like off the cuff, like, oh, what's one of your most memorable gifts ever? Like comes
was
right
it.
to mind. It was just that game. It was just like peak childhood encapsulated in a Christmas tree, Christmas present moment, just unwrapping it. It's like, Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
So good. So that was, I I don't think I wish I could be that happy about anything now.
Yeah, me too.
You know, it's like, well, it's not a bad thing. We're all just spoiled by our stuff and our conveniences.
Well, once you hit adult and you actually have an income, it's like, if I want something, I'm just gonna buy it for myself.
Like save up.
You're a grown human being, and you can
you put aside some disposable income, and then
you also know how terrible the world is. So it's like, will you ever reach those levels of joy again? Probably not.
Oh my God. I need stuff to fill the hole.
Fill the void. Either one of you guys?
Do you want to go or do you?
Sure. Mine's actually really short. So my parents were both very into playing video games growing up when I was growing up. So
That's very cool.
They just got the systems for themselves. So I didn't really have to wait for Christmas. It's like, oh, yes, we got the new Xbox 360 because my dad wanted to play it. So
crazy.
I just kind of got to play it, and he got his own games, and I got to play. But I did get a few Nintendo handhelds for Christmas, and I always remember when we would get those because those boxes for those games are very distinctive. Like you just know what you're getting.
Square.
Yeah.
And so we have this thing where every Christmas, on Christmas Eve, you get to open one present. And usually they'll put out a few gifts, and then sometimes one of my siblings will put out their gifts, and sometimes it'll be a game maybe. And we're always just like, don't open that one. You can't open that one. Because you get to choose one gift.
Yeah.
And so that's how you know. It's
Naturally, you go for the
right,
biggest, heaviest
I
one.
got a handheld. I'm excited. So that was always my big thing that I really enjoyed. But I think last Christmas, technically, one of my favorite things was actually getting my parents their own consoles. So my dad, we had gotten him a Switch for his birthday. And then my mom was really jealous because she wanted to play Mario, but she didn't want to play on his Switch. So we all pulled in together and bought my mom a Switch.
That's amazing. That's
the circle of life.
Exactly.
Yeah, so actually that was one of my favorite things because they had always shared so many games with me.
Yeah.
That's
and be able
awesome.
to share it with them in a different way. It was really cool.
Yeah, I hopefully my daughter never sees this. Santa is maybe bringing Let's Go Pikachu.
Oh, nice.
And so she's played some Pokemon Quest, which is you can just do touchscreen on it. So she's, but watched Miranda's review.
Thanks.
And I sprung for the $100 edition with the Pokeball because I feel like she would love that.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious to see how that's gonna go over. Because this maybe I'm getting too sappy, but like for me, I wonder if this will be with video games for her what the original Super Mario Brothers was for me, like sort of the entry point into it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I hope so. I'm so excited.
Super cool.
Brandon, any
Yeah.
shining gaming holiday memory?
I got my mother bought me most of the consoles that I had growing up. She got me an original NES when it came out. I mean, I grew up with a single mom, so like I got the stuff like a year or two late,
Yeah.
But I got the original NES, which I still have, and I got Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt, the package that it came with, and then she bought me Marble Madness as well, which was a great time.
That was I remember that was a great game on the NES.
It was really, really good. I remember like sneaking into her room because she put it in her room.
Yeah, of
so
course.
I couldn't play it all night. So I remember like 6 in the morning, maybe 5:30, I would open her door and then army crawl on the floor so she couldn't see me from her bed. And it was at the foot of her bed, and I would turn it on and then like click the TV on.
so good.
And then just play Marble Madness for like 2 hours until she woke up and yelled at me.
Oh, that's so good.
But she got me. I mean, she started this whole thing for me. So like she says to this day, she says, I bought you an NES because I heard that it helps with hand-eye coordination. And I never would have guessed that it would have started a career. But she bought me a Genesis. She bought me a Super Nintendo eventually. The last console she ever bought me was the green translucent N64, Donkey Kong World, Donkey Kong Country version with the little extra memory pack that goes in there. And I remember having a genuine freak out moment when I saw that just green plastic.
Like ultimately, we were all really lucky.
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel.
Very.
Like just hearing all those stories, I'm like, wow, we had pretty fortunate times.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, good stuff. If you have a question for the Loot Box segment, send it to unlocked@ign.com. And now, real quick trivia. Actually, you know what? I'm going to just skip the question for this week because I'm just going to go.
But I know it.
I'm going to go straight to the trophy presentation real quick. Here we go. Brandon Tyrell, the winner
Thank you.
of. I guess I'll
Congratulations.
face it
Turn it
towards
around.
the camera, even though we did see
That
it
is
last week.
so cool looking.
Again, Adam Gumbert. If you want to tweet him how awesome this is, I'll bet it would make his day if everybody tweeted him. He's at Adam Gumby, ADAMGUMBY. He did a great job on this. He worked months. I mean, just over the whole course of the year, he and I would correspond, and he would give me progress updates on this. So now, as for the name, so, we tossed out Connecty last week, but then a few people thought, well, it was Project Natal. What about Natalie?
I love
it.
It
might have to be the Natalie.
I really like the Natalie.
So I think we're going to go with that.
Yeah.
But make sure to wave this in Destin's face.
Yeah, I will.
It makes him insane that he didn't win this year.
Yeah, I'm going to walk out with it under my arm.
Yeah.
First of all, it's super cool. I mean, the wood.
That's right. That'll glue back on. It's shipped. Yeah, it's just a glue issue.
The wood
there.
covering on it is really awesome. And I actually really like the use of natural elements. It's like a craft show.
Really nice.
Yeah, it's
I love the
great.
use
Great.
of natural elements, and the box is cool too. It's got all this French writing on it. It looks like old newspaper advertisements from Paris.
Yes.
But, thank you very much. This is such a cool trophy, and I will absolutely make sure Destin regrets every day for the rest of his life.
Yeah, and
that he
so
didn't win this.
yeah, you beat the ghost of Alana by 4 points.
Hey,
Miranda, I know I'm going to see a more competitive showing from you next year. I have every faith.
I'm so bad at trivia, guys. I am so bad.
And
try my
then,
best.
Yes, and Destin will have a fresh start as well, which will probably make
How
him
many
happy.
points did Destin have?
Only a few because he was rejoined the show
Yeah.
like
Okay,
mid-year.
right, that's
so
true.
this year was a little weird because we had a bunch of cast changes. Like we joined
Right.
the show in March or April,
Something
and then
like that.
Lana left,
and
and
Alana left,
so
and then Destin joined.
It's all. But we're all
Michael.
Rocksteady now.
Hey,
Good.
Tying it back. Call back.
love with
But
Bebop.
guess what? I do need more trivia questions. We might do them for fun the next couple weeks while we're still. We got a couple more
training.
shows. But yeah, I do need a good stockpile of good trivia questions to dip into for next year when we start fresh and start the competition again. So if you have an Xbox trivia question, please send it in. I need 4 multiple choice answers with your question and note the correct one in your email. And it's that same email address, unlocked@ign.com. We got to go. We are running along here today. You can find me on Twitter at DMC_Ryan. We've got the new IGN First for December. Brandon, you and I putting together the games to watch in 2019.
Yeah.
Yes, we renamed it last year.
We did.
Just sort of basically a bunch of single-day exclusives on cool games. Think about if you used to read gaming magazines and it'd be like 44 hot games of 20 of whatever year it is.
I had no idea this game was even existing.
And then you'd see it just be this endless wave of cool games to look at in the magazine. Well, that's the idea we're trying to recreate here. And we're kicking it off today or yesterday with Trials Rising.
Yep.
The developers made a video for us showing off a first look at one of the extreme difficulty tracks.
Extremely hard tracks.
So,
which, like, in a Trials game, hard is, like, extremely hard. So
Right.
I have no idea how these
Move
are
forward an
possible.
inch.
Yeah.
yes.
exactly.
So just keep checking back the IGN homepage. Hopefully you do that anyway, every day, every weekday for most of the weekdays this month, including, by the way, after Christmas. There's stuff literally all the way through
It's a good month.
till the 31st. I have stuff booked almost every day. So check back on that. Lucy, where can the audience hang out with you, see what you're up to?
In America.
In America, you can follow me on Twitter at LuceO'Brien, LuceO'Brien. I'm also on Instagramming my early days in the US and
Initial impressions.
my initial impressions, which thus
Review in
far
progress.
Yeah, exactly.
include a Dickens fair and like the cereal aisle, which just blows my mind.
My girlfriend said that she ran into you guys at Home Depot, and I'm so curious to know what you think of Home Depot.
I was blown away. I was blown away. Home
Never-
Depot is like another.
It's another planet
Yeah.
where you can do
wonderful.
anything.
Yep.
I could build one of the. Actually, probably not. This guy's way more talented than I am, but all the materials are there. Yeah.
Love it. Miranda.
Hello. You can find
Hi.
me at Havoc Rose, and it's Havoc with a K. Still working on that Red Dead wiki. It never ends, including with Red Dead Online. That's a fun one. So send me your questions. You can tweet us at me directly or at IGN Wikis, which is just at IGN Wikis. Very easy.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Brandon, take us home.
You can find me on Twitter at Brandon Tyrrell, BrandinTyrrell, where I will post a picture of this beautiful trophy shortly. Outside of that, I reviewed Assassin's Creed's first Assassin's Creed. Oh, here we go. Assassin's Creed Odyssey: Legacy of the First Blade - Episode 1 Hunted.
Oh my god,
that is the most Ubisoft title ever.
So
well
that's
done. You deserve that trophy just for that.
That is a company. I mean, they've been doing this for years.
Yeah.
Like the Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, Chaos Theory. There's been some good ones over the years.
Not since it was like Peter Jackson's King Kong, the official game of the movie, did I think we were going to see another title like this. But hey, the first third of the first DLC package called Legacy of the First Blade is out today. I reviewed it. That review went up yesterday. You can go check that out. I thought it was good. And if you're still wondering about Fallout 76, I reviewed that too. You can go read that as well.
And just in general, the Dan Stapleton had to hammer out quickly because they didn't send it to us till super late. Just Cause 4 review is now up on IGN or IGN's YouTube as well. So do take a look at that.
You can go check that out.
We're done. We still got a couple more shows. Hang with us. We are not going on holiday break just yet. Next week, we'll recap, of course, all the Game Awards announcements, particularly as the stuff pertains to Xbox. We expect to hear about Winter of Arcade.
I will be gone next week on a super secret project in another country.
Right. Okay. So Lucy might be back.
Maybe back.
I'll fill you in.
All right. We'll inevitably have a lot to talk about next week, so we'll see you then.